Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here, and welcome to what I guess would be the prologue to my Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough. I've been doing quite a bit of research, and I have about 7 or 8 pages of handwritten notes that you'll probably hear me flip through from time to time as I'm navigating my way through the Dragon Age Keep, which I'm going to document here for you. And although I'm not going to be 100% on all of the details, I do think I have a pretty decent understanding of what has occurred in the past 2 games, Origins and Dragon Age 2, as well as some of the main characters, factions, nations, world, and some of the more villainous creatures known as the Darkspawn that we are going to run into. So this is my first time in the Dragon Age Keep, and in order to explain to you guys where I'm at knowledge-wise, I'm just going to show you a couple of quick things that you should really check out. There's this channel called Shoddycast. They've done some fantastic lore videos, and there's one more that's going to be released on Tuesday, I believe. So they've covered off the elves, the humans, the dwarves, the nations, magic, religion, the blight, and I believe the last one is going to be called the Fade. So you can check that one out on Tuesday, but these are really good. They're only 6 or 7 minutes long, and they're full of information, and they're very well done. The other thing that I did is went through this Kotaku article, and it's a really solid summary that tries to keep things simple while still kind of expanding on areas where necessary. And again, it covers off all the different factions, and it covers off the different nations, and who's pissed with who, and some of the different companions that you're going to run into from time to time. So yeah, this is how I've prepared. And now I'm going to go through the Dragon Age Keep so that you can see which choices I've made going into Inquisition. So let's get started. Welcome to the Tapestry. Here you'll be able to create your unique world state to import into Dragon Age Inquisition to share with friends, The Tapestry has already been set up with a default world state. There's no save import from previous games. The Tapestry is arranged by product, and choices are grouped by theme or plot. To get started, use the menu, select a product, and then choose a group to edit. Once you've selected a group, you'll be able to see all the choices available for you to edit. As you make edits to the Tapestry, all the choices will be automatically updated to ensure your world state is always valid and can be imported into Dragon Age Inquisition at any time. Now you'll be able to set the outcome of a choice. You can either approve the existing choice or select a different outcome. Lock the choices you don't want the Tapestry to automatically adjust by clicking the lock button. Okay. So let's get started. Let's see. So I guess we would start with choosing our hero, but let's just review all the way. Okay, Inquisition obviously coming soon. Dragon Age 2 over to this side. Okay, let's start with Origins. So our hero, look, at the end of the game, you face off against this archdemon. And I guess in very specific circumstances, you could die. That's not my style. So I'm going to choose a hero here. And let's see. I think the ones that appealed to me the most initially are the Dalish Elves. These are kind of like the outcast elves. They typically live in the forests and in alienages, I believe it's called. Within the cities, they're like slums. And the elves, to my understanding, were kind of like the first people of Thedas, which is like the world of Dragon Age. And they've kind of forgotten about their past, and now they're kind of looked down upon. But we also have dwarves, we have city elves, we have elf mages, human noble warriors, dwarf noble warriors, and yeah, okay. And within each of those, the warrior, rogue, and mage part, those are all just different classes. But I actually prefer the Dalish Elves, I think. They're pretty cool, and I think I would go with a Dalish Elf rogue. I'm not so sure that this actually makes a big difference because you're playing as different people all the time. But that's kind of what I think. So what we're going to do, Warden died killing the archdemon, or Warden is alive and well. And I think I'm going to go with this, but that could change depending on some of the other decisions that we make. So the hero is now chosen. let's maybe get into some of our companions. And this is probably where we're going to spend most of the time. In terms of romance options, there's a few that we can choose from. Alastair, Morgan, Leliana, and Zevran. I'm most intrigued by Morgan and Leliana, but Morgan kind of has this strange like backstory. There comes a point where she gets pregnant, and she could either get impregnated by, I believe, us, or she can get impregnated by some type of like demon or something. It's pretty crazy. She's an apostate mage, so she's kind of left the circle of the mages, and that's probably looked down upon by the other mages, although I believe most of them would probably want to leave if I'm not mistaken. And she kind of practices some ancient, like, mysterious magic. Her mother is super bizarre, and she can turn it. Her name is Flemeth, I believe. She can turn into a really powerful dragon, and there's all this mystery behind her mother and their relationship and all that. But pretty cool character by the sounds of things. And you know what? Let's see if we may have to change this, but let's choose romancing her for now, and then we'll see how that goes. There is a dog that we can recruit or not, and absolutely I'm going to recruit it because I think that's fantastic. Let's see. Loghain executed by the warden. So either we executed Loghain, he was executed by Alistair, he was killed by Alistair in a duel, Loghain died killing the archdemon, or Loghain is alive and well. That's kind of an interesting one. Let's try and... My idea is... Oh, here we go. Okay. So if Loghain's alive and well, then we could not have the warden still be alive. So let's cancel that. My thought process is try to keep as many people alive as we can. But let's just say that he was executed by the warden. I am okay with that. Now, there's this situation with this imprisoned character, and he's a Sten. I don't believe Sten is the name, but it's like his kind of role. And you could either stumble upon him and not free him, you can pick the lock to free him, you can persuade the Reverend Mother to free him, or you can intimidate. And I would prefer the persuade option if it was my approach. That's what I would be trying to do. I try to resolve things usually through dialogue, if at all possible, so that sounds like that would probably work. And then, did we recruit Sten or did we not? I'm going to say we recruited him. And then there's a little bit about his sword. So, my understanding of this sword is that he is kind of like this warrior, and he at one point lost this sword and then went and killed a whole bunch of people. And in order to, like, keep him from going more crazy, we had to give him his sword back. So morally wise, like, it's kind of a tough decision to say, yeah, here's your reward for killing a bunch of people and throwing a huge fit. Or we just don't give him the sword back. But I think I am going to return the sword. Seeing as how we recruited him, I think it's probably best to keep him happy. There's a question here about recruiting Oghren. So after walking the deep roads with the warden, Oghren decided to join the battle against the Blight, and I will recruit as many people as I possibly can. Zevran here is actually quite a funny character, so we're going to recruit him. And either Zevran died or he's alive and well. We're certainly going to keep him alive and well. Now we also have Wynn. She's a little bit of an older lady, but that's okay. We're going to recruit her as well. She's going to join our group. Now, we've got a couple choices about Alastair here. So, Alastair died killing the archdemon. Alastair was executed. Alastair became king. Alastair stayed with the wardens, or he became a drunk. I think it'd be the best if we had some of our companions that are in positions of power. Although we're not playing as the same characters, it'd be cool to know, like, if we see this person in the future, knowing that we had a part in them becoming king. But, looks like we can't do that. So, maybe that won't happen. Can we stay with the wardens? No. Perhaps he has to die killing the archdemon. We can approve this answer, which means that's probably the case. Oh, okay. So if we didn't kill... Maybe we should die killing the warden, because killing the archdemon, because part of being like a Grey Warden is knowing that you're one of the only ones that can actually kill an archdemon. And you have to kill an archdemon by sacrificing your own life, right? And since we're not actually... here, let's do this. So become king, and let's make the changes saying we died killing the archdemon, which is kind of a noble way to go, and it kind of fits with like the Grey Warden mentality. So let's do that. Warden and Alastair were not lovers. That is probably true. And I'm going to play as a male character, so I don't think we would fit as the queen. Let's just approve the fact that we were not lovers. Next, Wynne. Since we recruited her, we want her to be alive and well, no question. Liliana, as well, is another companion of ours. We're going to say she is alive and well. Morgan did not have a baby. Now, apparently this is a big decision, okay? So we're saying she did not have a baby, or she had an old god baby with the Warden, or she had an old god baby with Alistair, an old god baby with Loghain, or Morgan had a human baby with the Warden. If we choose this, okay, that does work. Let's see what happens if we had an old god baby with the Warden. That means we'd have to be alive and well to kill the archdemon. So that sounds a bit crazy, but oh, this is kind of tough, because I think she's going to have an impact in Inquisition. Let's say that we had a human baby. Doesn't seem to change anything, at least here. Now, the Grimoire. So at one point we're tasked with finding Morgan's mother's Grimoire, which is essentially the equivalent of like tarot cards or some type of like dark magic. So we either did not acquire the Grimoire, or we acquired it peacefully, or we did it by defeating Flameth. I'm going to see if we can go peacefully. Seems to work. And that best aligns with what I would want to do. So I think that's literally all of our choices already for Dragon Age Origins. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's move on to Dragon Age 2. Or wait, hold on. Let's actually back up a second here. Ah, no. Okay, that was just companions. Yeah, I figured. I was like, we still have a lot to go here. So let's move on to Nature of the Beast. So within this, let's see. How did the Warden resolve the problems between the werewolves and the elves? Werewolves were cured of their decades-long curse, and the Dalish joined the Warden's forces against the Blight. That sounds like something I would prefer. Sided with werewolves or sided with elves. Whenever I can kind of form unity, I will do so. So there's that. Didn't encounter Kamen and Gaina. Focusing on the Blight, the Warden did not take time to play matchmaker, but you know, I know that I would do this. There's probably these two people that were having a situation and asked for help, and I would step in and help. Elora, the Warden did not resolve the Hala's illness. I'm sure that we would have saved the Hala, so let's do that. Didn't tell Athras about the wife's fate. So this is about withholding information from somebody, even though we know it would hurt them, and I would rather him know the fate of his wife than not. So I would tell Athras about Danila. Didn't bring Verathorn the iron bark he needed. I would say that we would. I don't know if this guy's good or bad, but I would say that we'd bring the iron bark. And then Dagon. How did the Warden deal with Dagon in the Brazilian forest? The Warden did not encounter Dagon, returned Dagon to Dalish camp, or killed him. I'll say we returned him to the Dalish camp. Okay. So, we might be... I'm trying to figure out the correct way to approach this, because now we've got the prologue here, which happens earlier. And then we've got companions, and then we've got... It's kind of strange. So maybe what I'll do is go prologue, Urn, Arl of Redcliffe, and then down through here, and then the expansion and some of the DLC, and then over to 2. Let's do that. So in the prologue, we meet this prisoner named Ostagar, and we can either choose to leave him alone, we can kill him, we can feed him prisoner-stolen food, we can get the guard to feed him, we can buy food to feed him, or we could have a key stolen from the Ostagar prisoner. I think what we would do is feed Ostagar prisoner the guard's lunch. I think that would be a pretty cool way to do it. And then we also have this hound. We didn't help the hound, we cured the hound, or we put it out of its misery. I would certainly say that we cured it, and I believe that's how we would get the dog that we mentioned earlier. So, let's go to the Urn of Sacred Ashes. I feel like this is probably later game, so I'm not sure the order that I'm answering these in. But basically, you could corrupt this urn, I believe. And if you did that, things would go pretty bad. I am going to say that we did not poison it. And then the Arl of Redcliffe. Okay, so there's a few things that happened here. Did the warden help the village of Redcliffe fight the undead hordes at nightfall? Yeah, of course we did. Did we help... did the warden help the people of Redcliffe prepare for the attack of the undead hordes? Yes, we would help them prepare. Connor died. What happened to Connor? Alive, not possessed. Alive, possessed. I'm going to say he's alive, not possessed. Bela left Radcliffe. And if you guys, I will say, because some of these are like probably really small stories that occurred. So, some of them. I don't know if this one is or not, but if you guys know some of the more interesting ones and you'd like to give me some more details, I'd be completely open to that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So what was the fate of Bela the tavern waitress? Left Redcliffe, took tavern ownership, left to start a brewery. Oh, interesting. Bela, let's say she started a brewery. Why not? What did the warden do to help Caitlin find her brother Bevan? Freed Bevan and took his sword. Freed Bevan and paid for sword. Freed Bevan did not find sword. Scared Bevan back to Chantry. And freed Bevan and returned the sword. That is what I would do. I typically approach these where, like, what would I do, like, really, if I was the character? So, usually I try to side on the nicer side, but if somebody really wrongs me, then I have no problem wronging them back. Did the warden rescue Owen the blacksmith daughter Valena? Yes. Helped her escape. Let's see. Owen's daughter was never... Yeah, no, we rescued her. For sure. And Isolde is alive. Survived the events at Redcliffe Castle. Yes. Big time. Okay. So, we did Nature of the Beast. Let's do Paragon of her kind. So, what happened to the Anvil of the Void? Cadogan and the Warden defeated Branca and destroyed the Anvil of the Void, ending both the threat if posed and the opportunity it presented. Let's see. Join forces against Cadogan. Join forces against Cadogan. Branca set out uncovering the Anvil's dark secrets. Cadogan and the Warden defeated Branca and destroyed the Anvil of the Void, ending both the threat it posed and the opportunity it represented. Yeah, that's probably the safest answer, I think. Balin rules Orzammar. Balin went on to lead the dwarves, following in his father's footsteps and leading with a progressive eye, wanting to reestablish firmer ties to the surface kingdoms. Yes, let's stick with that. Dagna. How did the Warden deal with Dagna's request to become a scholar at the Circle Tower? The Warden did not encounter Dagna. Refused to help, convinced Dagna to stay with her father. Dagna left to study, told Dagna the circle was destroyed. Let's say that she left to study. Maybe she'll come back in the future. The Warden did not encounter Marty before leaving for Ostagar. Let's say that we had relations. Uh-oh. So who was the Warden? Oh, okay. Well, it means we'd only be able to do it as, looks like a dwarf. So let's say we didn't do that. Let's just say we did not have relations. Okay, same thing. I guess we didn't encounter them. I don't want to change the hero just for one choice. That was probably a quest that only comes up if you're a dwarf. And this one maybe too. Restored Marty's son's birthright. Let's say this. Nope, same thing. Okay. The Warden Restore Marty's son's birthright. Didn't have son with Marty. Didn't encounter Marty's son? Nope. That's going to change too much. Okay. What about Filda? Said Ruck died. Ruck survived this encounter with the warden, but Filda was given the disclosure of believing her son had perished in the deep roads. We told the truth. I think we would do that. Didn't prove Legion of Dead connected to noble house. The Legion of Dead's connection to nobility never came to light. The warden uncovered and shared the origins of the Legion of the Dead. Yep. What did the warden decide to do with the tomb stolen from the Shape Rate? Return the tomb to Shape Rate or sold it to a fence? I would say we would return it. Did the warden help Brother Burkel create a chantry in Osramar? Or start his chantry. The chantry is kind of like this is like the largest religion. And it's very similar to Catholicism, I believe. And for me, I'm not a big religious guy. I don't know if I would help him. It looks like he would maybe pay me. Thanks to the warden's intervention, Brother Burkel was able to start a chantry in the Dwarven city. It proved divisive. Yeah, maybe we didn't do that in that scenario. What was the fate of Zerlinda and her son? Reconcile with family, left for the surface, taken in by Burlick's chantry, or Zerlinda left the son in the deep roads. The deep roads are where the Darkspawn travel underground, and often they have run-ins with the dwarves who also live in these kingdoms underground. So that's what they're referencing when she says like left for the surface. And if you do that as a dwarf, then you're kind of like an outcast at that point. But we'll say that we reconciled them. Okay, Lyrium. This is something that's kind of interesting. And to my understanding, Lyrium is kind of like mana almost. And it's used to create magical items and used to just become more powerful with the art of magic. There is something called Red Lyrium, which we eventually discovered, and it corrupted this person named Meredith out of Kirkwall. And something happened, and she ended up, like, I think, killing all of the mages or something like that. Or she wanted all of the mages dead. And so she went a little bit nutty. But the other reason that Lyrium's interesting is because this is what's ingested by the Templars to become more resistant to magic. And the Templar mage kind of, I don't want to say controversy, but tension is one of like the key points of the whole Dragon Age series. And the Templars kind of look over the circle of the mages. I think it's referred to as the circle of magi, where the mages are locked away because they're kind of like X-Men, the way I understood it. And I think it was a really good reference because their propensity for magic is discovered at a young age, and then they're locked away with, like, they're essentially kind of imprisoned, and they don't have a free life. And the Templars are the ones that kind of orchestrate and manage that scenario. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of tension between the two. But let's say for this, I know we kind of went off a tangent there. Let's say that we moved a significant quantity of Lyrium to the Ferelden Circle Tower. And then we have this Orta. Did the Warden help Orta find the proof she needs to join the Assembly as a member of House Ortan? Let's say that we did. Okay. Next, we have the Broken Circle. So, this is going to be interesting. We either support the mages or we support the Templars. This is probably a bigger decision. I say that because I'm not sure if... Like, I don't think we play as the same character in Inquisition. Like, even in Dragon Age 2, we play as somebody named Hawke, which is not the first character. And then I don't think we're playing as Hawke. Well, we're not playing as Hawke, I'm sure, in Inquisition. So, who would we support? The Warden fought to the top of the tower and defeated Uldred, saving the remaining mages and recruiting them into the Warden's army. With the mage threat contained and the right of annulment used, the Templars pledged their blades to the Warden's cause. I think that I would support the mages. I just think the Templars are a bit nutty. That's just my own opinion. And even if the mages are potentially dangerous, because some of them can't harness their power, I don't believe in, like, fully imprisoning them. I think that's crazy, but, you know. I'm going to support the mages. Irving's still resilient, surviving Uldred's attacks, or he died. We're going to say he survived. And then, did the warden agree to Cullen's request to kill the mages in the tower? I'm going to say no. We did not agree to Cullen's request. Okay. Lyrium. Sir Landry survived the 5th Blight. Let's say that he did. The 5th Blight is, I believe, where Dragon Age Origins took place. There's been 5. The first one lasted like 200 years, and I believe Dragon Age Origins was during the 5th. Did the warden tell Ban Sigurd about finding Oswin in Arl Howe's torture room? Yeah. Sigurd, enraged by his son's treatment, pledged to help the warden in the lands meet against Loghain. Yes. Big time. Did the warden bring the ancient encrypted scroll to Sister Justine in Denerim? Yes. Did the warden complete Slim Coldry's crime wave? Interesting. Let's say that we didn't. I don't think we would support that kind of mayhem. Did the warden help Sergeant Kylon clear the White Falcons out of the Pearl? The gentlemen were encouraged to leave. The Pearl suffered the clumsy attentions of its patrons in a way that was deeply unsatisfying. Let's say that we encouraged them to leave. Did the warden handle the Crimson Ores for Sergeant Kylon in Denerim? The ores went on to terrorize patrons, or the ores were dealt with, much to the innkeeper's relief. Yes, we would do that. Did the warden give Alstana her brother Erminric's ring? Thought racked by Lyrium withdrawal, sent proof of his survival to his sister via the warden. Yes. Did the warden return the Worn Amulet to the beggar woman in Denerim's alienage? Let's say that we did. Give the beggar some peace. Did the warden complete Master Ignacio's assassination missions? Either we didn't, we killed Ignacio, or the warden earned access to a special stock of goods by earning Ignacio's favor. Ooh, tough one. Honestly, that sounds bad. I would probably do it. I don't know who we're assassinating, but I'll feel better in my heart if I feel like we're assassinating bad people. So let's go with that. Did the warden help Alistair track down his half-sister, Goldana? I would say that we would. And Marjolaine. Did Liliana have Marjolaine killed or let her go? Let's say that we sent her away. Okay, the lands meet. Who now rules Ferelden? Alastair, half-brother to King Cailan, stepped up to become the new king of Ferelden, continuing a long line of kings from his bloodline. Alastair and Honora. Mactyr, daughter of Tairn Loghain Mactyr, forging a powerful, somewhat distant political alliance with their marriage. Alastair and the Warden. No. Honora or Honora. Okay. Let's say Alastair rules. And the Battle of Denerim. Who killed the Archdemon? The Warden took the final blow, eliminating the Archdemon and shattering the force that unified the Darkspawn. That's what we said. We could say that Alastair or Loghain did it, but I think us killing the Archdemon actually does make the most sense. Okay. Now, we've got the Awakening expansion. So let's see. The Warden killed the Architect, or the Warden allowed the Architect to live? Tough call because we don't know who the Architect is, but I imagine if we could let it live, there's probably a real reason we would do that. Did the Warden protect Vigil's Keep? Or the city of Amaranth? The Warden had to choose between saving Vigil's Keep or the city of Amaranth. Okay. Keep, let's say we did both. Let's actually see here. We've got this drop down. A rare intelligent Darkspawn. Oh. The Architect wished to make Darkspawn immune to the call of the old gods, ending the blights forever, but releasing the blight infection across Thedas. Okay, hold on. But releasing the blight infection across Thedas. A rare intelligent Darkspawn. The architect wished to make Darkspawn immune to the call of the old gods, which is probably a good thing. But it releases the blight infection across Thedas, which is already happening. I'm still going to leave it. Nathaniel. The warden finds Nathaniel Howe imprisoned in a dungeon. Nathaniel is revealed as the son of Arl Rendon Howe, who is an ally of Loghain and abuser of power during the Fifth Blight. We'll leave him alive. I think as many people alive, the better, to be honest. Did Oghren reunite with his child and Felsi? The warden may take the opportunity to influence Oghren's family life. Let's say that they reunited. Okay. Then we've got a witch hunt DLC. Did the warden go through the Alluvion with Morgan? Morgan reappeared with an offer for the warden to step through a recently restored elven gateway known as Alluvion. I can almost guarantee that we would do that. Uh-oh. If we did, we'd have to say Alistair killed the archdemon. Look at this. This is crazy. It would change everything. And we're not going to stab Morgan. I guess we didn't go through. Interesting. Warden's Keep. So, the warden found an alchemical concoction in Avernus' study that could grant powerful blood magic skills. Blood magic is like a dark magic that's heavily frowned upon. If we did gain it, yeah, okay, cool. We can do it. How did the warden deal with Avernus? How did the warden resolve the situation with blood mage Avernus and the demon-possessed Sophie Dryden? Slayed, okay, so we could slay Avernus. Slayed Sophie and Avernus continued research, or slayed Sophia and allowed Avernus ethical research. Yes, let's do that. Okay, and then Stone Prisoner DLC. Shale is alive and well. I imagine this is somebody we recruit. Shale accompanied the warden to search for Paragon Branca. The Paragon wants to do away with the golem. Yes, alive and well. The warden can help a villager, Matthias, find Amalia, his missing daughter, who was under the influence of an imprisoned demon appearing to her as a cat. Amalia calls the demon Kitty. She's still possessed. Both alive. Matthias is possessed. Amalia is alive. Matthias is dead. Oh, wow. Let's say that we found... Okay, so let's say they're both alive and now Matthias is possessed. And yes, Shale is recruited. Okay. So that's everything in Origins. Let's move on to Dragon Age 2 now. So our hero in Dragon Age 2, let's see. Everybody, the options are all Hawke, but we have a warrior, mage, or rogue. I think, like, rogues are kind of cool, but mages are also cool. What does this mean? I don't know. Hawke was generally kind and interested in the welfare of those around him. Champion did not find or perhaps never thought... Okay, well this... just because we haven't chosen it yet. Let's choose a mage. Okay, let's go into companions for Dragon Age 2. Who would we romance? Let's see. So there's Anders, Fenris, Isabella, Merrill, and Sebastian. Interesting. Let's say the escape to Winterslave Fenris captured Hawke's heart, thankfully not in the usual manner. Nothing can be done to dampen Isabella's free spirit. Hawke found love with her. Finally, acceptance with Hawke. Let's say Fenris. Friends with Varric, absolutely. He's one of the main companions for Dragon Age 2. What was Bethenny's career? Bethenny Hawke was an apostate mage when she fled Ferelden with her family. She and her siblings were ultimately separated by circumstance. So this must be our sister then? Circle mage. or Grey Warden. After contacting the Blight in the Deep Roads, Bethenny was saved by Anders' intervention. Leading her to a group of Grey Wardens, Bethenny was saved and survived her joining. Let's do that. Oh, okay. Looks like our champion then would then have to be, looks like a warrior. I'm kind of cool with that. I think that's kind of interesting. What was Carver's career? While helping his family escape Lothering, Carver was killed by Darkspawn forces. Carver Hawke was an opinionated young man and brother to the champion of Kirkwall. He was eventually separated from his siblings. Okay, so this is the brother. He's either a Templar or a Grey Warden. Let's say he's a Grey Warden as well. But that's going to switch us back. Oh, so we might only be able to save one of them. What if he becomes a Templar? Then she dies. Interesting. So we had to, like, maybe choose between the two. That's really kind of a difficult choice, actually. Carver died leaving Lothing. Let's say he died in the Deep Roads. Carver contracted deadly corruption of the Blight. Did not survive. Nope. Can't do that. I guess he died leaving Lothering. Interesting. Was Varric's brother Bartrand killed? After his ascent to madness, Bartrand did not survive the events in Kirkwall. He led the Deep Roads expedition that provided Hawke's fortune. Bartrand eventually went mad, succumbing to the effects of a shard of red lyrium held in his possession. Let's say he will never be the same, but he was not killed. Did Bethenny die in the final battle? When fighting broke out in the Gallows, where the Circle of Magi and Templar Order were both headquartered, Bethenny was caught up in the struggle. Let's say that she did not die in the battle. Did Hawke help Varric discover what was haunting his brother Bartrand's mansion? Yes, absolutely would do that. Did Varric keep a piece of the red lyrium idol? Ooh. Which eventually drove him insane, was left behind after Hawke and Varric confronted him. I don't want him to go crazy. Let's say he did not keep it. Okay, Isabella. Yes, we're going to recruit everybody. After recovering the tomb of Coslin from the thieves who were holding it, Isabella absconded with it, even knowing the value it held to the Qunari. Return the tomb to Hawke and the Qunari. Left for good. Let's say she returned it. Fenris, alive and well? I would hope so. Fenris's past as a slave can catch up with him as Tevinter slavers hunt him down, and he can be heavily involved in the final battle between the mages and the Templars. Actually, I did think Fenris was a female. So that's interesting. It's not that I have a problem with male-on-male romance at all. I'm just saying that probably wouldn't be my preferred choice had I known that Fenris was a male. So let's choose, for our romance, let's choose Merrill then. I'm sure the romances don't have a huge impact on Inquisition, being that they're all different people. Did Hawke give Isabella to the Arishok? Isabella was not turned over to the Arishok, resulting in a violent conflict. Ooh. Let's say we did not. Did Merrill stay with Hawke? Yes. Merrill is also alive and well. Yes. Okay. Did Hawke approve of Anders' actions at the Chantry? Anders is a mage possessed by a spirit of justice. He set up the events leading to the destruction of Kirkwall's Chantry, declaring it necessary to catalyze the brewing struggle between mages and Templars. It's kind of a tough one because, like, the whole Chantry thing is kind of aggressive, but I feel like we probably wouldn't approve of such a rash action. What happened to Anders? After the mage admitted his guilt, Hawke executed him on the spot. Ooh. Let's say that he survived his admission. I don't think we would kill him. Merrill refused to abandon the mirror after spending so much time restoring it. Ooh, tough one. The illusion was a rare, powerful mirror dating back to the elven kingdoms of Arlathon. Although it had previously corrupted her clanmates, Merrill was determined to destroy it. Oh, man. That's a tough one. Let's say that she destroyed it. Did Avalyn marry Donick? A fellow Ferelden refugee along with Hawke rose to prominence in the Kirkwall City Guard. She developed feelings for Donick, a fellow guard. Let's say that she did. Why not? Oh, we're friends. Okay. Let's see. Some of Hawke's actions during the dispute between the mages and Templars may have contradicted Avalyn's strong principles, but they managed to work it out. We're still friends. Was Merrill's clan killed? After Hawke and Merrill kill the abomination that Merithari has become, Merrill's clan may attack them in retaliation. Let's say that they were not killed. Next, we've got Sebastian. I'm going to say yes. Did Hawke make Talis angry? Talis was an elven agent of the Qunari Ben Hasrath. Her Qunari loyalties made her life and perspectives quite different from those of the champions. Let's say we didn't make her angry, though. And didn't kiss Talis. Romancing Qunari spies is rarely the wisest thing a champion can do. Ooh, tough. Let's say that we did kiss her, though. Ooh, we're going to cause some drama. I'm just kind of picturing like how this would go down. Okay, we've got a prologue. So, upon arriving in Kirkwall, Hawke had two possible ways to gain the family's entrance. Spend a year working either with a mercenary company or a group of underhanded smugglers. Let's say we join the mercenaries. Act 1, Act 2, and then Legacy DLC. I'm not sure where Legacy DLC fits in, but let's do it early. Corpheus, an ancient darkspawn, has been imprisoned by Grey Wardens for centuries. A corrupted ghoul-like warden named Larius begged Hawke to keep another warden, Janeka, from releasing Corpheus. Ooh, I don't think we should. Begged Hawke to keep another warden, Janeka. Yeah, let's side with Larius here. That sounds a bit dangerous. Malcolm Hawke, the champion's father, has been to the warden prison years before Hawke arrived there. Let's say that we did find his will. That would be kind of interesting. Okay, and next, Act 1. So, what did Hawke do with the Templars? A group of mages took refuge in caverns in the Wounded Coast. Their leader, Decimus, had become a blood mage. The mages begged for Hawke's aid as a Templar hunting party closed in. They begged for Hawke's aid as a Templar hunting party closed in. Turn mages over. Let's say that we protected the mages, but we convinced the Templars to leave, so we didn't have to kill them. Did Hawke return the cargo to Martin? Martin, a previous acquaintance of Isabella, broke from the brutal raiders who had employed him. He asked Hawke to locate cargo he needed in order to become a merchant. Yeah, let's say we did that. It's literally, this seems like every little decision that was made. Likely saving the lives of others. Hawke returned the deeply disturbed man to his father, Magistrate Venard. He was the son of a magistrate in the city of Kirkwall. He was fixated on elves and murdered several of them, claiming the demons in his head forced him to do so. I would probably return him to his family and hope that they deal with him. Looks like he's probably imprisoned. Samus, son of the Viscount of Kirkwall, befriended a Qunari named Ashad and ran away with him to embrace the Qunari way of life. The Winter's mercenaries found and killed Ashad and kidnapped Samus. Befriended a Qunari named Ashad. And Qunari are these like horned peoples. They're pretty cool looking. And I think you can actually play I think you can play a Qunari in Inquisition if you want. Let's see. The Winter's mercenary found and killed Ashad and kidnapped him. Samus was rescued not from the Qunari, but from the mercenary group determined to hold him hostage. Yeah, let's say we did that. When it's two like this, I don't even need to really choose. Hawke never came into conflict with the mercenary leader. After forcing a conflict rather than having any competition for the reward of Samus's return. Oh, okay, so it's either one or the other. I gotcha. Let's say that Guinness died. Okay, Danzig. So Danzig was a slaver involved in a capture of a young dreamer, Fainriel. I don't like that. Hawke does not kill the slaver, but... do we free anybody? Or do we just leave him be? That's the tough one. Gislen was a noble who strongly suspected his wife Nanette had been cheating on him. Hawke later learned that Nanette had been murdered. Uh-oh. I would tell the truth. Even though it sucks, I would tell the truth. Hubert asked the champion to find the miners that had survived the Bone Pit's dragon infestation and convince them to come back to work. Let's say that we did solve the mystery. Sir Thrask was a Templar known for his sympathy towards mages, as his own daughter was one. Sadly, Hawke witnessed the young mage turn into an abomination. Oh, man. I would say we wouldn't blackmail. Was Iduna killed? Iduna was a blood mage involved in a plot to corrupt Kirkwall's Templars recruits. Tough one. Is she still imprisoned? If so, we're going to keep her alive. Fenriel, which we just found out about. We either send her to the Dalish or to the Circle. Powerful, untrained magical abilities. After his mother contacted the Circle of Magi for help in managing Fenriel's magic, he ran away from the alienage. Ooh, tough one. He didn't want to go to the Circle, so I would just send him back, I guess. Did Hawke defend Cadogan or hand him over to the Qunari? Cadogan was a bound Qunari mage rescued against his will from his handler by Mother Petrus as part of her campaign against the Qunari. Let's say we defended from the Qunari. Kind of a tough one. What happened to Karen? A group of mages was kidnapping Templar recruits, attempting to corrupt them and turning them to sow dissension among the Templar ranks. Kieran was among those taken. Uh-oh. Let's say reinstated with the Templars. Sir Karis was a Templar heading a hunt for a group of escaped apostates from the Circle in Starkhaven. He encountered Hawke in the Wounded Coast. I would say we'd keep him alive and well. Okay, so that is Act 1. Let's go into Act 2. So we've got Gascard. An Orlesian noble named Gascard claimed he was able to, or trying to, investigate a series of disappearances of women around Kirkwall. While ultimately not responsible for the disappearance, Gascard's methods for protecting them were unsavory. I wonder what he was doing. Let's say we kept him alive and he eventually left. Hubert, an Orlesian businessman, asked for the champion's help in reopening the mine once known as the Bone Pit, which disturbed the nesting ground of High Dragon. Let's say we discovered the looter. How did Hawke help Yevon find his sons in the Deep Roads? Yevon's sons were dwarven explorers determined to reclaim some of their culture's lost glory from the Deep Roads under the Free Marches. Oh, damn. We can only save one. Iwan was rescued at the expense of his brother Merrin's life. Merrin was rescued from the Darkspawn pursuing him, though his brother Iwan perished as a result. Ooh. I really have no idea. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so it would be like one or the other, right? Okay. Varnell, former bodyguard to Sister Patrice, captured a Qunari delegation and asked Hawke to side with him against the Qunari in Kirkwall. I don't have a thing against the Qunari, though. Like, Hawke refused to aid the Templars' plan to disrupt Fragile. I don't like the Templars, really. I kind of already get that vibe that I don't like them, and that could be totally unjustified. Sister Patrice dedicated herself to ridding Kirkwall of Qunari and wanted to use the conversion of a Viscount's son to the Qun as ammunition against them. Blame the death of the Viscount's son in Qunari. No. Did Javerus die? Javerus Tintop was an enterprising dwarf determined to learn the secret of Gatlock, the Qunari explosive black powder formula. Let's say we allowed him to leave, turning our attention to the true Gatlock thief. Harley was an officer in Kirkwall's guards and requested Hawke's help against a group of entrenched raiders that had been threatening the city. We'd probably do that. Fought alongside the guardsmen, attacked the raiders without help of the guardsmen. What happened to Fenriel? Fenriel was an alienage elf who was powerful but untrained magical abilities. After his mother contacts her magic. Okay, so this is the same description as before. He ran away. Let's say that he was freed and left for Tevinter, which is kind of a mage-friendly nation. Made Tranquil, which is kind of like the equivalent of like a lobotomy. I think I said like about 5 times in that sentence. And that would mean that he would no longer be able to interact with the Fade as mages could. Or he became possessed and turned into an abomination. Damn, that's a tough choice. Master his abilities, leaving for the Tevinter Empire. I would say that. That's interesting. We'll probably run into him. Well, when tensions with the Qunari who lived in Kirkwall reached a breaking point, Hawke faced down the Arishok who led the Qunari troops. Hawke resolved the Qunari assault on the city peacefully, and the Arishok withdrew his Qunari. Let's do that. Oh, wait. That would mean then, if we did that, we'd have to give Isabella to Arishok to make him do that. Ooh, tough one. I don't even know who Isabella is. I have no allegiance to any of these people yet, but Arishok proved a mighty foe, but Hawke triumphed in the end. Why are they here, does it say? It's just, okay, these are kind of like our natural enemy right now. Let's say we killed him. Ooh. Okay, end. Act 3. Nuncio, an Antivin Crow, asked Hawke to track down a notorious assassin who had gone rogue. Let's say that we offered to help. Yeah, why not? Zevran. Let's see. Hawke handed Zevran over to Nuncio and the Crows. So this must be the person that they were looking for. The assassin Nuncio asked Hawke to hunt down was none other than Zevran Ariani. Interesting. Hawke had the choice to hand Zevran over to Nuncio or to let the elf go free. I would probably let him go free. Zevran returned the favor by supporting the champion in the final battle between the mages and Templars. Yes. Who did Hawke hand the conspirators over to? A group of mages and Templars worked together to overthrow Knight Commander Meredith. Ooh. Hawke presented the conspirators to Orsino, allowing the first enchanter to deal with them away from Templar eyes. Hawke presented the conspirators to Meredith, confirming the Knight Commander's fears. I'm going to hand to Orsino in that scenario. Did Hawke find and rescue Nathaniel from the deep roads? Delia Howe approached Hawke in Hightown, asking the champion to search for her brother Nathaniel, who didn't return from a deep roads expedition with some fellow wardens. Let's say that we did encounter him and rescued him. Oh. Okay, that would mean that he's alive and well. Oh, but then we wouldn't encounter the guy with the choice between the two sons. So let's actually leave that, because I think that choice between the two sons is rather powerful. Let's just say he did not survive in that scenario. Okay. Gamlen was seeking a jewel called the Gem of Karoshek. Tracking down the gem led to the discovery of his estranged daughter, Sharad. Let's say that we reunited them then. Big time. Emile de Lancet, a foppish noble from a Norwegian family, escaped the circle and was promptly accused of practicing blood magic. Accused, yeah. Return to the circle. Judging the young mage as harmless, Hawke allowed Emile to go free. Yeah, that could bite us in the ass, I'm sure. Did Hawke side with the mages or the Templars in the final battle? That's tough, but I would probably side with the mages. Did Hawke... What did we do with Karen? A group of mages was kidnapping Templar recruits. Oh, and Karen was one of them. Let him go, killed him. Karen rejoined the Templars under Knight Captain Cullen's discretion and promised to keep a very close eye on the recruit. He left the Templar Order. Let's say he left the Templars. And then we've got a dragon. So Hubert, an Orlesian businessman, asked the champion's help in reopening the mine once known as Bone Pit, which disturbed the nesting ground of a high dragon. We didn't kill the dragon, or we killed the dragon. Damn, at the Bone Pit. I would say we probably killed the dragon. I don't know if it... I'm hoping that this was an enemy. But I have no idea of knowing. So that is everything. We are pretty much all set. Dragon Age Inquisition's coming out tomorrow, which is Tuesday. It's pretty exciting. I am actually really interested in this series because all the research that I've done... I do think, obviously, all the details in the Dragon Age Keep are going to be unknown unless you've played the games, because it looks like literally every choice is back here. But in terms of the overall world and kind of some of the conflicts that are happening between the different factions, like I'm really, really intrigued, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Looks like, let's just see here, Dragon Age Origins, disable the trap, pick the lock on a chest or door. Okay. Interesting. And then we could randomize, unlocked, share, play, load another world state. I don't think I want to mess that up. And then we would export to Dragon Age Inquisition. So it looks like we're pretty much all set. I don't know if that was super tedious for you guys, but if you did want to know all of the minutia of the choices that I'm going to have going into it, then there you have it. But thank you guys very much for watching, and stay tuned for Dragon Age Inquisition videos coming up very soon. Take care.